There is power in knowing your power. And obviously that sounds like common sense, like duh, power equals power, right? Well, I'm saying this because this is something that I learned recently, and this is for the people who consider themselves overthinkers, people who consider themselves anxious, for the people who feel like they are stuck in the loop, in the cycle of their own mind, of their own head, for the people who are aware that they are in control, for the people who are aware that they do have power over creating their reality, over manifesting, over changing how the fuck they feel. But even with that awareness, they still feel stuck. And they don't know how to change it, even though they know how to change it. Well, this is how you can get out of the cycle. Well, first realize you're not even in the cycle, okay? Like, it's really an illusion that you are stuck, because you are beyond the mind. Like, it is not who you are, it is not what you are. Respond, don't react. Respond and don't react. And this is when triggers show up in your reality, whether they are triggers that are outside of you, someone saying something specific or something happening, you noticing something, or whether it's an internal trigger, whether it's you having a thought that comes up, or you having an unwanted emotion, unwanted thought, whatever it is, you're not going to react to it anymore. When you react to it, you're gonna keep yourself feeling stuck, because a reaction usually entails emotional reaction to this trigger, right? You start overthinking even more, like, oh my god, like, why did this happen? Or you even start overthinking about your overthinking, like, oh my god, why am I still thinking this? I'm not supposed to be thinking this. Like, I'm supposed to change. Why can't I change? It keeps happening and I don't know what to do. Why do I feel like this? And you're just reacting. You're keeping yourself in that reacting. You're giving your power away to these triggers. You're giving your power away to your mind. Your mind is not the power. You are the power. You are beyond the mind. You can choose your thoughts. You can choose to say no. You can choose to say no to certain thoughts. You can choose to just... So responding would look like, I guess I'll give an example for what it looks like for me. So respond to me, usually I will just notice it. I'll notice that it comes up, and then I'll leave it there. I don't need to fight it. I don't need to try to push it away. I don't need to try to get rid of it. But I don't need to identify with it either. I don't need to make it who I am. I don't need to keep it on me. It can be there, and I can notice it, and I can choose to notice something else that I want to feel, that I want to think. And that is how you can get out of the cycle, because that's what the cycle is. The cycle is your reaction to the triggers. Because if you stop your reaction, then the triggers, they can't hurt you. They can't hurt you when you decide to show up differently, when you decide to move differently. They can't hurt you. Kind of like when, like, you know, when they say like bullies, or when people like bother you or something, when they bother you to get a reaction out of you, and when you give them that reaction, it gives them that satisfaction, and it really gets inside your skin, right? And they keep on bothering you, right? But when they say something to annoy you, but you don't react, and you kind of just doesn't bother you, then they kind of get bored and they move on. Look at it like that. You don't let them bother you. The triggers can't get under your skin. Eventually, you're not even gonna notice them as much anymore, and it'll be so easy when you do to not even react, because it's not who you are. We react so much that we begin to think that our reactions are who we are. That being an anxious person is who we are. That being an overthinker is who we are. That being stuck is who we are. Like, these are reactions, and we begin to identify with them and think, and that's why it feels so hard to get out of it, because it's like, if you feel like that is who you are, if you're identifying with something, how can you get out of it? Because it's you, right? So we stop identifying by realizing that we can show up differently. You can respond and not react, and that is showing up differently. And you will feel different, because if you are showing up the same way, you can't expect different results. If you want to see something different, if you want to feel something different, you got to show up differently. And that is how there is power in knowing your power. Because you have the power. You have the power to move differently.